The great chamber of the Galactic Council fell silent when the doors opened. Every alien species that sat in judgment that day had expected never to see the human again. Commander walked into the room with steady steps. His body carried new scars. His eyes held something dangerous, but he was alive. High Arbiter felt his three hearts stop for a moment. The tall creature gripped the edge of his floating platform. This was impossible. No creature had ever survived Terminus 7. The planet was chosen specifically because nothing could live there for more than a few cycles. The radiation alone should have killed the human within days. The predators would have finished whatever remained. "This trial is concluded," said, his voice echoing through the massive hall. "I have served my sentence. Now I want answers." The gathered representatives of 12 star systems shifted nervously in their seats. The delegation, with their pale blue skin and large black eyes, whispered among themselves. The Empire's ambassador, a massive creature covered in thick scales, leaned forward with obvious interest. Even the usually emotionless, beings of pure energy contained in mechanical bodies, flickered with what might have been surprise. 6 standard months ago had stood in the same chamber as a prisoner. The charges against him were fabricated. Everyone knew it. He had discovered that several council members were selling weapons to the Ravager hordes, the most destructive force in the known galaxy. The Ravagers did not conquer planets. They consumed them. They stripped worlds of every resource and left nothing but dead rock behind. Had found evidence of this betrayal during a routine patrol mission. His ship had intercepted a communication that should not have existed. It contained delivery coordinates, payment records, and the signatures of 3 council members. Before he could report his findings, he was arrested. The charges claimed he had attacked a civilian transport vessel. False witnesses appeared. Manufactured evidence was presented. The trial lasted only 2 days. The sentence was death by exile to Terminus 7. The planet earned its name from the ancient human word for ending. It was the 7th world in a dying star system, a place where the universe itself seemed to want all life to end. The atmosphere was toxic to most species. The gravity was twice the galactic standard. Constant electrical storms tore across its surface. The native creatures had evolved to be perfect killing machines. Nothing soft survived there. When prison transport dropped him on that hellish world, the guards had laughed. One of them, unnamed, had told him to enjoy his final hours. They left him with nothing. No weapons, no shelter, no supplies, just his prison uniform and the rage burning in his chest. The first night almost killed him. Found a cave as the sun set, filling the sky with blood-red light. He sealed the entrance with rocks, working until his muscles screamed. When darkness came, he heard the hunters outside. Their claws scraped against stone. Their hungry sounds filled the air. They could smell him. They wanted him. But they could not reach him. Did not sleep that night. He sat in absolute darkness, listening to creatures that wanted to eat him alive. He thought about his daughter back on the colony world of New Haven. She was only 7 years old. He had promised to return for her birthday. Now she probably believed her father was dead. That thought kept him alive when everything else told him to give up. Morning brought new challenges. The air burned his lungs with every breath. His skin blistered under the harsh radiation from the dying sun. Water was scarce, and what he found was filled with parasites that would kill most species within hours. Drank it anyway. His human immune system fought back against the microscopic invaders. He was sick for 3 days. When he recovered, he was stronger. The council members who had sentenced him did not understand humans. Most galactic species had evolved on peaceful worlds. Their planets had stable climates, gentle predators, and abundant resources. They saw the universe as a garden that sometimes needed protection. Humans came from a different kind of place. Earth was classified as a Category 4 by galactic surveys. The planet tried to kill its inhabitants constantly. Earthquakes shattered cities. Hurricanes destroyed coastlines. Volcanic eruptions buried civilizations. Diseases evolved faster than cures could be found. Predators lurked in every environment. Even the weather could kill in countless ways. Yet humans had not only survived there, they had conquered it. They had spread across their deadly world and then reached for the stars. Carried that legacy in his blood. On Terminus 7, he began to adapt. He learned which plants could be eaten and which would cause painful death. He discovered that certain rocks gave off enough heat to keep him warm during the freezing nights. He found underground rivers where the water ran cleaner. He crafted weapons from the bones of creatures he killed. The predators learned to fear him. There was a species on Terminus 7 that the galactic records called apex hunters. They stood 3 meters tall. Their bodies were covered in armor like scales. They had 6 limbs tipped with claws that could cut through metal. Their jaws could crush stone. Nothing hunted them. They were the ultimate killers on a planet full of killers. In his second month on the planet, one of these creatures found territory. The fight lasted most of the day, used every trick he had learned. He led the creature into traps. He struck from shadows. He used the environment as a weapon. When his stone spear finally pierced the creature's throat, both of them were covered in blood. Most of it was. He should have died from his wounds. Instead, he used fire to seal the worst cuts. He ate the creature's flesh to regain strength. He wore its scales as armor. The other apex hunters never attacked him again. They recognized him now. He was one of them, a killer, a survivor. The months passed, grew harder, stronger, more dangerous. The planet that was meant to be his tomb became his teacher. He learned its rhythms, its secrets, its hidden mercies. He found allies among the native creatures, beasts that understood strength and respected those who possessed it. But he never forgot why he was there. The names of those who betrayed him burned in his mind like stars that would never go out. In the 5th month, found the wreckage of an old ship. It had crashed on Terminus 7 centuries ago. Its crew had not survived the first night, but some of its systems remained functional. Spent weeks studying the vessel, teaching himself enough engineering to understand its communication array. He sent a message to the only person he trusted. Admiral, his former commanding officer, was an old woman who had served humanity for 60 years. She was honest and incorruptible. She was also dying from a slow disease that no treatment could cure. She had nothing to lose and nothing to fear. The Admiral received his message. She began investigating the council members who had sentenced him. What she found was worse than anyone imagined. The weapon sales to the Ravagers were only part of a larger plan. The corrupt council members intended to weaken the outer colonies, allowing the Ravagers to strike. When the attacks came, these same officials would offer protection in exchange for total control. They would become the supreme rulers of the galaxy, all while pretending to be saviors. Admiral gathered her evidence carefully. She built her case piece by piece. When she was ready, she sent a ship to Terminus 7. The rescue team found waiting on a cliff overlooking the landing zone. He was wearing armor made from apex hunter scales. A spear made from bone and metal hung across his back. Around him, several of the planet's most dangerous predators sat calmly, like trained hounds waiting for their master's command. The rescue team leader, a young human lieutenant, had stared at him in shock. "Sir," she had said, "you were supposed to be dead." Had smiled. It was not a pleasant expression. "I was supposed to be many things." Now he stood in the council chamber, facing the beings who had tried to murder him. High Arbiter struggled to maintain his composure. His species showed fear through their antennae, and his were trembling violently. "Commander," the Arbiter said, his voice wavering, "this is highly irregular. Your sentence." "My sentence was death," interrupted. "I was sent to die on a world where nothing survives. I survived. By your own laws, that means my punishment is complete. I am a free citizen of the galactic community." But the charges were lies, and we all know it. Admiral's holographic form appeared beside. Though she was light years away, too weak to travel, her presence filled the room with authority. I have transmitted evidence to every member of this council, she announced. 3 of your members have been selling weapons to the Ravagers. They used Commander as a scapegoat when he discovered their crimes. They sentenced an innocent man to die on it to protect their treachery. The chamber exploded into chaos. Accusations flew. Some delegates demanded immediate arrests. Others called for independent investigations. The 3 guilty council members tried to flee, but they found the exits blocked by armed soldiers loyal to Admiral. Watched them being dragged away. He felt no satisfaction. His daughter still thought he was dead. He had missed half a year of her life. Those months could never be returned. The scars on his body would never fade. But he was alive. High Arbiter approached him after the arrests were complete. The creature looked smaller somehow, diminished by what he had witnessed. Commander, he said quietly, I voted for your sentence. I believe the evidence presented to me. I was wrong. Whatever compensation you require. Compensation, turned to face him fully. The Arbiter stepped back involuntarily. Something in the human's eyes triggered every fear response his species possessed. You sent me to you thought that would be enough to kill me, but you forgot something important. Humans evolved on your punishment was just a homecoming. Walked toward the exit. Before he left, he stopped and looked back at the assembled representatives of galactic civilization. Remember this day. Remember what happened when you tried to kill a human. We are not like you. We do not break. We do not surrender. We adapt. We overcome. We survive. The next time any of you consider harming one of us, remember that your worst nightmare is our natural habitat. He walked out of the chamber without another word. A ship was waiting to take him to his daughter. He had a birthday to celebrate. Behind him, the gathered aliens sat in stunned silence. They had just witnessed something that would change galactic politics forever. The humans were not just survivors. They were predators. They were the children of hardened by a planet that tried to kill them every day for millions of years. And they had just proven that nothing in the galaxy could truly stop them. The story of Commander spread across the stars within days. It became a legend that parents told their children, a warning that military commanders studied in academies, a reminder that echoed through the centuries. Never send a human to die on a. They will always come back. And when they do, they will remember.